I'm Shivani. I'm a third-year dental student at University of Michigan. I'm the Health and Wellness Chair for our UMich ASDA chapter. I'm also a certified yoga instructor, and I think yoga is a really great thing for dentists to be practicing to prevent any shoulder, neck, back issues, especially it's so prevalent in our profession. So I really hope that this video reaches other dental students and dental professionals and they find some benefit. Thank you. So we'll get started in child's pose, bringing the knees apart, bringing the big toes together, and reaching the hands away from you, resting the forehead on the mat. Here we start to breathe in and out through the nose, deepening the breath, letting the eyes close, focusing on being present here and now for the next 30 minutes, trying to be the best version of yourself. Starting to deepen the breath in and out through the nose, noticing how the body feels. You can engage Ujjayi breath or ocean-sounding breath, constricting the back of the throat and exhaling with force as though you're trying to fog up a mirror. On your next breath in, we'll start to come up to a tabletop position, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Gaze is gentle at the front edge of the mat, and we'll start to take some cat-cow breaths here as you inhale, looking up towards the sky, letting the tailbone rise, belly button drop, and then as you exhale, tucking the tail, pulling the chin in towards the chest and arching the spine up. So moving here with your own breath, as you inhale, lifting, and as you exhale, tucking. We're starting to build that vinyasa flow, movement with breath, letting the breath guide us into each pose, moving a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, we'll come to a neutral spine, and we'll take a shoulder opener called Thread the Needle. So as you inhale, bring the right hand up into the air, opening the chest, and as you exhale, thread the arm, thread the needle underneath the left arm, resting on the right shoulder. You can extend that left arm long out in front of you, or wrap the right or the left arm behind the back, hooking onto the thigh. So the more weight you roll onto the shoulder, the deeper the stretch. We'll bring that left hand back to center, planting the hand, inhaling the right hand high, and exhale, plant that right hand. We'll inhale the left hand high, waving the arm high. And as you exhale, threading the needle, so extending that left arm underneath the right, extending the right arm out in front of you, or wrapping it behind the back, hooking onto the thigh. Again, rolling more weight onto that left shoulder to deepen the shoulder opening. We'll plant that right hand down, inhaling the left hand high, and then as you exhale, planting both hands down. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll come to our first downward facing dog, flipping the toes under, letting the hips come high, pedaling out, bending the knees, alternating, straightening the legs. So downward facing dog, we're in an upside down V, allowing the hips to come straight up, the chest falling towards the thighs, the head relaxed, gaze can be neutral towards the knees or the feet. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, looking up towards the hands. As you exhale, slowly stepping towards the front of your mat. We'll stay down here for ragdoll, so keeping the feet about hips width apart. Grabbing opposite elbow with opposite hand, letting the body be heavy. Soft bend in the knees, relaxing the head, nodding it yes and no, and swaying side to side. So letting this open the hamstrings and the lower back. slowly releasing the hands, we'll start to take a wrist stretch before we get started. So sliding the palms face up underneath the feet, bend the knees as much as you need here, and walking the palm of the hand underneath the feet all the way up so the toes are at the wrist crease. And starting to rock your weight just a little bit onto the palms of the hands. Maybe the heels float up off the mat. Be sure to engage the core here as you are balancing. Sliding the hands out from underneath. We'll start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Last thing to come up here is the head. Giving the shoulders a big roll back and inhaling the arms up overhead. Heel toeing the feet back together so the big toes are touching. And exhale, bringing the hands into heart center. Here we'll start a sun salutation A. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, swan dive down, leading with the chest. Inhale, coming to a flat back, crown of the head is reaching forward. And exhale, plant the hands, hop or step into a high plank. Here in this plank, we're engaging the core, lengthening the spine. Weight is rolling onto the toes. And to modify, we'll drop down onto the knees, taking a chaturanga, lowering down, elbows close to body, pinching the rib cage. And then straightening the arms, we'll come to upward facing dog. So full expression, your hips and thighs are hovering over the mat and your weight is just on the tops of the feet and the hands, rolling the shoulders open. And then as you exhale, flip the toes under, let the hips come high, downward facing dog. So coming back to that breath in and out through the nose. We'll inhale, looking towards the hands. As you exhale, hop or step towards the front of your mat. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, deep forward fold. Maybe the hands come behind the ankles. Inhale, rising up, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. We'll take 2 more rounds of this. Inhaling the arms up overhead and exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come to a flat back, crown of the head reaching forward. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step into a high plank, lowering down into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, looking up towards the hands. As you exhale, hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, coming to a flat back. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. And we'll take one more sun salutation A. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands plant, hop or step, high plank. Lowering down through chaturanga. Inhaling to dog. And exhaling through down dog. And we'll stay here and start to add on a bit. So inhaling the right heel high. And exhale, step the right foot forwards, coming to warrior 1. So the left foot rotates out to a 45-degree angle. Arms come up overhead. The right knee stacks over the ankle. Energy flows through the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders down the back. Here we'll interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders open, and you can stay here or move into humble warrior, folding into that inner thigh, letting the hands fall overhead. Allowing the hips and the shoulders to open simultaneously, pushing the hands down towards the ground. Inhale, rising back up, arms come up overhead. And as you exhale, opening into warrior 2. Looking out over the front fingertips. As you inhale, reach forward, flip the front palm, and as you exhale, reverse your warrior. So the right hand is coming to the back of the room, the left hand can come to the lower back or the back leg. Inhale, coming back to center, and exhale, reaching out in front of you, coming to extended side angle, bringing the right elbow to knee, left hand up to the sky, or the hand can reach towards the front of the room, bicep by ear. To get a little deeper into this pose, you can drop that right hand in towards the inner arch. And even deeper, taking the arm bind, wrapping that left arm behind the right arm under and hooking at the fingertips. Inhale, rising back up into warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, lowering down into chaturanga for an extra challenge, keeping that right heel lifted, and exhale, downward facing dog. Taking this on the left side, we'll inhale the left heel high, exhale, step the left foot forwards, coming to warrior one. So again, the right foot is out to a 45-degree angle, that back leg straight. The front leg is at a 90-degree angle, knee stacking over ankle, relaxing the shoulders, arms come up overhead. Interlacing the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders open. You can stay here, or you can forward fold into humble warrior. So coming into that inner thigh, letting the hands fall overhead, opening the shoulders and the hips. As you inhale, rising back up to warrior one, and as you exhale, opening into warrior two. So the left fingertips are reaching towards the front of the room. Reaching forward, flip the front palm. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. So peeling the left shoulder back, left arm reaching towards the back of the room. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, reach out in front of you, coming to extended side angle. So bringing that left elbow to knee, right hand either up to the sky or reaching towards the front of the room. Can deepen the pose by bringing the left hand into the inner arch or taking the arm bind, so wrapping the right arm behind the left arm under. Inhale, rising back up, warrior two. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands down, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, and exhaling to down dog. From here, we'll inhale, looking up towards the hands. As you exhale, hop or step towards the front of your mat. Inhale, coming to a flat back. Exhale, we'll come to chair pose. So bending the knees, sinking the hips, and sweeping the arms forward. So rolling weight into the heels, making sure the knees are pushing back and you can see the toes past the knees. Any position here with the arms, either reaching up towards the ceiling, making a field goal, bringing the arms towards the side, or bringing the hands into heart center. Exhale, coming to straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, hopping or stepping back into a high plank, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, and exhaling to down dog. We'll take this through one more time, one breath, one movement. Inhaling the right heel high. Exhale, bring the right foot between the hands, warrior one. Interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders open, and as you exhale, fold into the inner thigh. Inhale, rising back up. As you exhale, opening into warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, reaching out in front of you. Taking extended side angle, so taking any variation you're comfortable with. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, stepping the feet back, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, and exhaling to down dog. Inhale the left heel high. Exhale, step the left foot forwards for warrior one. Rising up. Interlace the fingers behind the back, rolling the shoulders open, and exhale, fold into the inner thigh. Inhale, rising up, open into warrior two. Reaching out in front of you, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, reaching out in front of you, extended side angle, taking any variation. Making sure you're keeping both sides of the body long. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, stepping that foot back, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, and exhaling down dog. Inhale, looking up towards the hands. Exhale, hop or step towards the front of your mat, bending the knees, sinking the hips, and sweeping the hands forward for chair pose. Here, we'll bring the hands into heart center, closing the eyes, trying to find your edge in this pose. Straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step into a high plank. So you can always skip this vinyasa here, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, and exhaling to down dog, maybe opting to just come straight into downward facing dog. So now we're going to slow down a little, spending some more time in poses. Inhaling the right heel high, exhale, step that right foot forwards, coming right to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. And set up for triangle pose. So making sure that front heel is in line with the back arch. Looking out over the front fingertips, reaching forward. And as you exhale, tipping down. So bringing that right hand wherever it may land. Above the knee, below the knee, at the ankle, the shin, the foot, or the mat. Reaching the left hand up to the sky. Making sure you're pulling that left shoulder back to stack over the rest of the body, imagining your body is in between two panes of glass. Trying to keep both sides of the body long. And whatever position is comfortable for the head. Inhale, rising back up, bringing the hands onto the hips. Shorten the stance just a touch, bringing that back foot, that left foot forwards just a little. Spinning the toes towards the front of the room. As you inhale, lengthening through the spine, and as you exhale, starting to bend forwards. As you feel the tension build in the front hamstring, softly bend the knee. Bring the hands down wherever they land, either at the above the knee, below the knee, the shin, the foot, the mat. Trying to keep the hips square here, so shifting the left hip forward and the right hip back. If your hands are planted on the mat, trying to bring the forehead towards the knee. Here we'll add a twist, so keeping that left hand planted, inhale the right hand high, feeling that IT band stretch out. And one fluid movement will firmly plant that left hand, slide the left foot back behind you. So you're in a low lunge with a twist, waving the right hand high in the sky, opening the chest. And both hands come down to the mat, dropping the left knee down to the mat. We'll bring both hands into the center, walking that right foot to the outer edge of the mat, letting the foot roll out onto the outer edge of the sole, letting the knee splay out to the side, coming down onto the forearms, coming into lizard's pose. So here we're letting the hip open, slowly coming back up onto the hands. We'll keep the left hand planted and reaching back with the right hand, and if it's available to you, catching the top of that back foot. As you exhale, pulling the top of that foot in towards you, really twisting into the pose. As you exhale, releasing, planting both hands down onto the mat. Stepping the right foot back into a three-legged down dog. Starting to bend the knee, flex the hip. And send the foot over to the left side. So stacking the hips here. And then as you exhale, laying that right foot float down to the mat. And coming onto the left side, inhaling the left heel high. As you exhale, step the left foot forwards, coming to warrior two. Looking out over the front fingertips, straighten that front leg. And we'll set up for pyramid. So making sure that the front heel is in line with the back arch. As you inhale, reach forward. As you exhale, tip down. And remember, the hand can land anywhere here. So anywhere above or below the knee, the shin, the ankle, the foot, or the mat. Important to keep both sides of the body long. And keeping the neck comfortable, so anywhere the gaze is neutral. Down at the mat, out in front of you, or up to the sky. And we'll inhale, slowly rising back up, bringing the hands onto the hips. Spin to face towards the front of the room, shortening the stance just a touch. And as you inhale, we'll lengthen, and then as you exhale, we'll fold forward. And when you feel the tension build in that front leg, we'll bring the hands down, softly bend that front knee, and taking a deep hamstring stretch. And making sure to keep the hips square here, we're going to shift that left hip back and the right hip forward. And adding a twist in here, we'll keep the right hand planted and inhale the left hand high. Revolved pyramid. Feeling the IT band stretch. And in one fluid movement, planting that right hand down, slide the right foot back behind you, waving the left hand high, opening the chest. And exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, bring that right knee down to the mat, walk the left foot to the edge, roll out onto the outer edge of the foot, let the knee splay out to the side, and come down onto the forearms. Letting the hips shift forward to open that hip. Slowly coming back up onto the hands, we'll add a twist. Keep the right hand planted, reach back with the left hand. Either stay here, or if it's available to you, starting to bend the knee, sending the foot towards the lower back. Catch the top of that foot, giving yourself a quad stretch. And then as you exhale, twist into the pose. So look out over the left shoulder, letting the left knee splay out and the right heel come in. As you exhale, we'll release, bringing both hands down onto the mat, and then coming back into a three-legged down dog. And as you exhale, we'll start to open that hip even more by bending the knee, flexing the foot, and sending the foot over to the right side. As you exhale, releasing both feet down to the mat. As you inhale, looking up towards the hands. And as you exhale, hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms come up overhead. And exhale, hands come into heart center. So we'll take a standing balancing pose now called Eagle Pose. Starting in chair pose, we'll bring the arms out to the sides. And we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. You can keep the toes down as a kickstand or wrap them all the way around. And then bring the right arm underneath the left, crossing the arms, bending the elbows, and then wrapping the forearms. And we want the right fingertips to just touch the palm of the left hand. And as you exhale, sink a little deeper, pull the shoulders back as though you're sitting against a wall, and then send the elbows upwards and away from the body. You'll feel the scapula separate here. And using your toes to firmly balance as though they're roots of a tree. As you exhale, we'll slowly unwind the arms, uncross the legs, and kind of shake it out here. And we'll take this on the left side. So coming to a chair pose, open the arms out into a T, cross the left leg over the right, just like you're sitting on a chair, and either keep the toes as a kickstand or wrap them all the way around. And then this time we'll wrap the left arm underneath the right, bending the elbows, wrapping the forearms. And all the same cues here. So sitting deeper, pulling the shoulders back, sending the elbows away from the body, and pushing the arms up. And Here, all of your joints are getting a nice deep twist and a massage. As you exhale, slowly releasing. And here we'll take one last sun salutation A. And as you inhale, bring the arms up overhead. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step into a high plank. Lowering down through chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right heel high. And exhale, bring that right knee forwards to the right wrist. The foot crosses over to the left side. Extend the left leg long behind you. And here we'll lift up onto the fingertips. Bring the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, slowly release down, making sure the weight is balanced on the left and the right side. You can stay up on the elbows or come down onto the forearms and forehead, even reaching the hands out in front of you. Perhaps bringing the hands onto the lower back, letting all of the weight fall into the hips. So this is a surrender stretch where all you have to do is release. With each exhale, releasing a little bit more. About 15 more seconds here, so releasing anything that's holding you up. And slowly coming back up onto the hands. Flip the left toe under, inhale the right heel high. Maybe making some circles with that right knee, releasing any last tension. And we'll come to the left side. So inhaling the left heel high, exhale, bring the left knee to the left wrist. The foot crosses over to the right side. Coming up onto the fingertips, feeling the chest rise. You can inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, surrender down. Again, making sure the weight is balanced on the left and the right side. And we'll be here for 1 minute. So either resting on the elbows, the forearms, the forehead, or complete surrender by bringing the hands onto the lower back. And here I'll demonstrate a king pigeon pose, where you're letting the right foot behind you start to bend, catching the top of that foot, catching the toes with the fingertips, and then spinning to face towards the front of the room. And so this is an advanced version of this pose, just to challenge or to look forward to. And a few more seconds here. Again, surrendering everything down. Like one half could. It's one and more. It's gonna send me to my knees. We'll slowly start to come back up onto the hands. And this time we'll just roll off the hip, swinging both legs in front of us. And we'll take a seated forward fold. So making sure the sits bones are flat on the mat, back is straight. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, slowly coming down. Inhale, you lengthen, and exhale, you come down. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Coming down all the way wherever the hands land. And wherever that is, engaging the biceps to pull you down a little bit deeper. And this stretch is as much a back stretch as it is a hamstring stretch. feeling the head completely release, releasing any tensions in the neck and the upper shoulder area. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And interlacing all the fingers except the thumb and the first finger, we'll start to roll down one vertebra at a time until we lay down all the way. We'll start to bend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat. And we want the feet to be about hips width apart, just far enough that you can brush them with your fingertips. Making sure that back of the head and the neck are flat against the mat. As you inhale, we'll start to roll the hips up into the air, interlacing the fingers underneath the back, rolling the shoulders under, pressing the outer edge of the arms into the mat, feeling the chin tuck into the chest, fully extending here. And as you exhale, slowly releasing, rolling back down one vertebra at a time, unlacing the fingers, unrolling the shoulders. And here we'll take bridge or wheel pose. So for wheel pose, bringing the hands besides the ears, fingertips pointing down, and all the weight will be supported in the hands. So either a bridge or a wheel. And for bridge pose again, just keeping the shoulders on the mat and rolling the hips up. As you exhale, releasing one vertebra at a time. Last thing to come down is the lower back. And we'll windshield wiper the knees here, left and right, as our last spinal twist. And coming back to center, sending the feet straight up to the sky for candlestick pose. And we'll roll up, catching the lower back with the palms of the hands, setting up for shoulder stand. Walking the elbows in towards the body, sending the feet straight up to the sky. And this here is our inversion. The heart is above the head. And as you exhale, we'll slowly lower down into plow pose. So letting the tops of the feet come down onto the mat behind the head, extending the arms out in front of you like railroad tracks. So really deep upper back stretch here. For an even deeper pose, you can bring the knees besides the ears for ear pressure pose. And then as you exhale, we'll slowly roll back down one vertebra at a time. And when your lower back hits the mat, we'll bring the knees in towards the chest, rocking side to side. So taking a spinal twist here, we'll extend the left leg long, keeping the right knee in towards the chest, pull it over to the left side, opening the arms out into a T, looking out over the right fingertips. Trying to stack the hips here, twisting from knee to shoulder, and as you exhale, twisting deeper. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Switch out the knees here. Extend the right leg long, keeping the left knee in towards the chest, twisting the left knee over to the right side. And then extending the arms out into a T and looking out over the left fingertips. Again, twisting from knee to shoulder, wringing out the torso, and with each exhale, twisting deeper. Inhale, we'll come back to center. And our final pose here will be happy baby. So bending the knees, letting the knees come wide, and then grabbing for the soles of the feet. Here, just rocking side to side on the lower back. You can alternate extending one leg and then the other. pressing the hips open. Let the eyes close, a slight smile crosses the face. And if there's any other poses your body needs right now, feel free to take that. If not, we'll set up for our final pose, Shavasana. So extending the legs long in front of you, arms by your sides, palms face up. So here we're starting to engage in our meditation, starting to limit any movement in the body. So any urge to fidget, resist that urge. Any thoughts that may cross the mind, just let those float away. And starting to go from the top down, relaxing the body one layer at a time. So starting at the head, if you're wrinkling the forehead or squinting the eyes, relax those parts. If you're clenching the jaw, relax the jaw. Let the tongue relax. Feeling the shoulders press against the mat. Feel the back pressing into the mat. Feel the arms melting into the ground. The hips are heavy, the legs are heavy. And at this point here, you've found stillness in the body. You found a regular breath in and out through the nose. And you're focusing on just the breath. Again, any thought that may enter the mind, acknowledging the thought, and then just letting it float away with each exhale. And we'll stay here in our moment of meditation for a few minutes. So we'll start to come back slowly. First coming back to the breath, starting to deepen the breath in and out through the nose. Feeling the chest rise and fall. And starting to bring awareness back to the body. Giving the thumb a tap to each fingertip. Giving the toes a wiggle. Maybe rocking the chin from shoulder to shoulder. Starting to come back. First coming back to the breath in and out through the nose. Deepening, feeling the chest rise and fall. And now coming back to the body, giving the toes a wiggle, giving the thumb a tap to each fingertip. Maybe rocking the chin from shoulder to shoulder. And keeping the eyes closed, we'll take a deep inhale through the nose, reaching the hands up overhead, taking a deep morning stretch from the fingertips to the toes. And then as you exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out. And bringing the knees in towards the chest, rolling over to your right side. We'll come to a fetal position. Letting this be symbolic of our rebirth from Shavasana, our rebirth from corpse pose, and knowing that with each breath is an opportunity to start fresh. Keeping the eyes closed, we'll slowly come to a seated position at the front of your mat, and come back to any intention you might have set for the class. And whether that was just to quiet the mind for 30 minutes, or gain some flexibility, come back to that intention. Take a moment to appreciate the time that you took out of your day for this practice, and thank you for sharing this practice with me. The light in me shines and bows down to that light within each and every one of you. Thank you. Namaste.